Okay, guys, we're live. Give me just 1 second to get my outline, if that's all right with you guys. Not like you guys can do anything. I need to have my outline. I wasn't able to upload my new slide deck, and that frustrates me. But I know I can find this. This is just, give me a second. Okay, cool. Get this pulled over here, and this helps me stay on track and hit everything that I'm supposed to. Appreciate you guys putting up with the little kerfuffles along the way. It's just life. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm doing good. I'm not complaining. Just little hiccups. Let me try one more time to see if, like, why? Okay, I downloaded it like I always do, and then let me see here. Hopefully this will work. I think it's working. Oh yes, it's working. Okay, good, because I worked on the slides yesterday, and I kind of got them. I just tuned them up a little bit, and I added a few. I'm like, I want to use them today, because the next time I do it is 4 days from now, and everything changes so fast in crypto. I want to make sure that I'm on top of everything. So give me 1 second to close this door. Hold on. I'm in an office building, and I don't necessarily want the world to know what I'm doing in here. Make myself a target, security, big deal. Okay, guys, if somebody could say something in the chat, that's always helpful. And all right, this is going to be a presentation on the Grays currencies, pTGC, and UFO on PulseChain. If you come across this on YouTube and you don't know what this is about, this is PulseChain is a layer 1 network that is a direct copy of Ethereum, and was made by Richard Hart, a crypto genius founder of Hex that did 10,000x. So he forked Ethereum and made PulseChain. Copies of anything you had on Ethereum is over on PulseChain. And pTGC and UFO are an index of the best tickers on PulseChain. Good to see you, John May. Appreciate you, man. And so, are an index of the best tokens on PulseChain. So I'm getting ahead of myself. But what that means is, by holding these tokens, you effectively own a piece of the best assets on the chain. And that's just the beginning of this. That's just the beginning. I'm telling you guys, these tokens are impressive. We're going to talk about tokenomics and such. We're going to get into it, and get ready. I'm going to pour myself some water, because talking for an hour and a half, your mouth kind of gets dry. I hope the audio is good. I assume it's good, because nobody's saying anything about it, which is wonderful. Oh, it's a pump day. Like legit pump. This is long overdue. Hold on. Pie Mind, how are you doing, man? It's good to see you. Yeah. Oh, let's get right into it. William Dugan, you're back. I love it. He says, hey, bro, exciting times. Just onboarded 4 friends today to pTGC. Good job, dude. Been chatting with Tiger Crypto God. I like him. He's controversial. I'm attracted to controversial type people. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to set up the stream tomorrow morning. And I already told him I'm going to send him a link. So if you want to PM me, if you're friends with him, if you want to PM me on Twitter or Telegram, just to make sure he gets that link, I'm not opposed to that. Yeah. 6 months, maybe 9 or 12. I hope it's an extended one. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get Tiger Crypto God on board, man. The more, the merrier. All right, guys, let's see what's going on. I haven't looked at the charts in 10 minutes, so things could have changed. And I'm hardly joking. All right, let's pull this up. And I got a new cursor. I got a cursor upgrade today, so you guys should be able to see. No way. You can't see it. If anyone knows of a cursor that I can use when I'm streaming. Oh, I figured it out. Never mind. Hold up, guys. I got to change my screen. Watch this. I got to stop this screen. You guys can't see what I'm doing. And I got to enlarge this one. Okay, good. Then you guys are going to be able to see my screen, my cursor, which I believe is important. So Tiger Crypto God is a big influencer. He's a real positive for the ecosystem. How many followers does he have on X? He has like what, 3,000? You know, which is great, but I mean, it's yeah. I don't know. I was just at his I was just on his Twitter a little bit ago, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But I'm not poo-pooing it. Let's do it, man. Let's get everybody on board, man. So there was a Mando on it, boarded somebody the other day, and Aussie, he was in the Telegram blowing up about pTGC and UFO. He's like, I can't believe I missed this. He didn't actually say that, but he's like, and he was dollar cost averaging in pTGC and UFO. He's like, bam, 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 asking questions. He says, I think I found the holy grail of crypto. Like, welcome aboard. Not many on X, but big on other platforms, TikTok and YouTube. Oh, yeah, baby. Thank you for that. Excellent. You go, William. All right, let's look at the charts, dudes. All this activity. Can you guys see? It still looks like a tiny cursor. It's not supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be this way. I sound like a girl. Oh well, we're going with it, dude. I don't know what else to do, guys. I did everything that let me see. I mean, I literally tried this the other day. I'm going to try one more thing, guys. I'm so sorry. Stop sharing screen. One more. I got to give this one more try. I really want this. Oh, share a entire screen. There it goes. Now I think we'll see the cursor. All right, hold up. Watch this. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right. Where are we at, guys? It's a little squirrely here. Reset the chart view. Bitcoin is, I mean, it's 110 grand. I love it. Good evening, Mercis 2012. Good to see you. Bitcoin's 110. Ethereum is over. I mean, it just crossed 2,700 yesterday, and now it's 20. It's pushing 29. And look at, this is the USD chart. This is this is Ethereum against Bitcoin on the daily. It's up in the last 3 days. It's up 10% against Bitcoin. And in the last couple months, let's look at the monthly. You know, we are going to, yeah, we're at 38% against Bitcoin, you know, on the monthlies, which is wonderful. We want that. How's Pulse doing? Wonderful. It is doing so wonderful on the monthly. Okay. It's up, dude, it's up 70, it's up 80% in 3 months from its bottom. You know, it bottomed at 4025, which is perfect. Good morning, Crypto Wash. Why I would say it's perfect? Because it's an easy number. Like it's a nice round number. So when last year, when Pulse ran up, Pulse ran up 4x, pTGC ran up 40x. So now I'm tracking. I got a little sticky on my monitor. 0.0. So when Pulse hits 0.0001 SAC price, that'll be a 3x from the bottom, and we'll see what pTGC and UFO do compared. So I'm looking forward to that. So I guess, sorry to trick you guys around. What we're going to do is like go over the charts real quick, and then we're going to get into pTGC, and I have some slides to share with you guys. I have some new slides that I built. I got more slides I need to build. And then we're going to talk about UFO. And man, I really need to build some chapter titles here so I can, tell you guys what we're going to do. But then we're going to do some moon math, which today should be like really exciting because the numbers have changed, so, but I'm going to try to keep the pace and get through this thing. Cause I know it, like when I'm looking for content, I'm like, just give it to me. Cut the fluff. Just give it to me. Pulse is crushing it on the monthly. How's it doing on the daily? Oh yeah, baby. Are we going to cross 4 today? I would love that. pTGC up 19% in the last 24 hours. Yo. But if you go back, it's actually up 29% the last 36 hours, something like that. That is a wonderful thing. UFO is up 8%, but it is up how much in the last 2 days? 21%. Yay. That is so wonderful. I just love it. Alien Lakota 5000 reposted this stream. Yay. Yay. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Now that I know more eyeballs might be watching me, it makes me more nervous and makes me try to do a better job. Okay. So one of the important things about, those charts is that Bitcoin Ethereum ratio. And we want to see Ethereum taking ground over Bitcoin, because as the cycle goes up, historically, Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, but Ethereum gains ground on Bitcoin, and then when they collapse, not collapse, but when they start pulling back, people are taking their profits from those two assets and putting them into the more speculative assets, the altcoins, and we have an altcoin season. So that's just kind of sort of how it happens. So we are excited to see Ethereum taking ground because it's on. And then I think the president was like, we need to cut rates by a full point. Yeah, man. You know what that's going to do? That's going to pump the markets. So there's just good stuff happening. Now, I want to get back to, and James reposted this stream. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. I remember meeting you at the Pulse conference. Tall, skinny guy, so slender. One thing I want to make sure that you know is when you're on the deck screener, and we deck screener pulls up the charts in USD, but there's a little trick that you can do, especially if you're considering getting exposure to the Gray's currencies, and that is you want to flip the chart to the asset that you're looking at. Like I'll show you the pTGC Pulse chart, and we're going to click on not USD but Pulse, and we're going to see how pTGC has been performing against Pulse. And then you can do the same thing with your other assets that pTGC is paired with. Your Hex, your PI, which comes to mind. Sorry. And your Pulse, your PulseX, any assets that pTGC has a bonding with. Flip that chart to the paired asset and then zoom out and see how pTGC has been performing. And then you can make a more educated decision about what you need to do for your crypto. So let me show you how to do that real quick, and then we'll move on to some slides. This is, let's just do this one. This is the UFO PLS chart. See, UFO PLS. Now I'm going to flip the chart to WPLS. And now we see the chart in WPLS terms, not USD terms, not USD. And look at how UFO is up and to the right against WPLS. So what does that mean? But that if you had flipped your PLS into UFO, then you would be ahead. Let's just say it like that. Very simply, you would be ahead. Now let's look at pTGC. And I'm not going to do any other assets. But in terms of pTGC and PLS, let's see how much pTGC is up against PLS. 29,500%. So the lesson here is that if somebody had held pTGC instead of WPLS, which is just the gas token, okay, I'm not dissing PLS. I love PulseChain. I love the Pulse token, but I don't hold any. I hold the Grays currencies because they're outperforming PLS. I can always get PLS. Matter of fact, I earn PLS every single day from my Grays currencies assets. But I don't hold it because the Grays are outperforming it. And I want to hold the highest performing asset. So literally, if a person had flipped their Pulse into pTGC at the end of August last year, they'd be up 9.6x on their Pulse, because I'm going to show you again the price in the ratio right here, 9.6362. That's how many Pulse it costs per pTGC. At the end of August last year, we reached 1. It was 1 to 1. Now it's 9.6 to 1. That's an increase. And we think it's only going to improve. We hope it does. John May. Well, I want some Pulse just because I got to pay for gas. Yeah, that's where I am too. I hold whatever numbers of thousands in my wallets just to pay for gas. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to show you a couple slides, and then we're going to talk about what these tokens are. This is a slide that a buddy of mine made about the Grays, and it's comparing the Grays and the RH cores. The Grays are at the top, pTGC and UFO. pTGC is in the gold, and then you have the 4 core tickers. So Richard Hart has 4 tickers that are his basic assets. They're Pulse, PulseX, Inc., and I'm spacing here, Hex. And what this chart does is it demonstrates that, like, just look at the Hex. That's that other gold line or orange. When it moved up back in, looks like December, it pushed up a little bit, and there was an exaggerated response in the Grays currencies. See that? And this chart really needs to be updated, and we're about to. I literally didn't want the update. I saw the update and I was like, oh, that's a bearish looking chart. So I'm just being really brutally honest. Like I'm putting my best foot forward to illustrate to you what it was like at the end of January. Okay. I know it's June. I think we're about to get an update, and that will, I see this thing twice a week, so I'll get an update. It is what it is. Okay. Next slide is a little more zoomed out, or zoomed in, if you will, because it's from November through the end of February. And this chart is actually comparing Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. So, and our performance against those assets. I mean, but wouldn't you expect an altcoin to outperform those 3 behemoths? Yes. All right, now we need to talk about what pTGC and UFO are. They are an index of the best tokens on PulseChain. So by holding these tokens, you own, I think I already said this, you own a little bit of all of these other assets. And I have a slide that demonstrates this. pTGC and UFO, I really need to update those logos, but they are both, not only are they heavily bonded together, but they're bonded with the best assets on the chain. And as those assets move up, they drag pTGC and UFO up. And because of their thick bond together, pTGC and UFO move, will drag each other up. Does that make sense? Okay, I am going to show you secretobank.com, where you can see a little more clearly the bonds, the pairs, that these are an index, and we're going to see it here real quick. Just give me a second. I got to pull it up. So, and I kind of want to refresh here. I did it on its own. Okay, we're going to look at Secreto Bank. You guys can, hey, Luna Sea Point, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Secreto Bank. We got some cool metric sites, guys, in the Grays currencies, and I'm very thankful for them. So this one is secretobank.com. I'm actually kind of surprised that our volume is $91,000 today. I thought it would be a little bit more, but it's coming. I mean, we're seeing a pump, but it's not like the mega pump that I think is going to happen. Retail ain't here yet. I think they're coming. They're going to start hearing about all of this, and then they got to come. They got to hear about it first before they can come. You know what I mean? This is secretobank.com. And there are two default addresses. You can put any address in here, by the way, but there are two default ones, and that's pTGC and UFO. Let's look at pTGC. There's the token address. It's worth memorizing the last four, just as, to help you not get scammed and stuff. And then what you do is you select pTGC, select volume, and then it'll pull all of this up, okay? And just a little peek down here, you can see the volume, and that's where our rewards come from, because these are reward tokens. And then the total liquidity, $5.8 million. That's pretty thick liquidity. So let me draw your attention to back up here. These are all the pairs right here. You have your pTGC WPLS, PDI, PulseX, Hex, Inc, Atropa, Most, all those, okay? And then you can sort these columns by volume. You can sort by volume. So the Pulse pair has the most volume right now with 39,000, followed by PulseX and then Hex. Now let's sort by liquidity. The Pulse pair has $1.6 million in LP. The liquid pTGC pair has $1 million. PulseX, $855,000. Hex, $568. Okay. And I will spare you from going on about all of that. So there's another Secreto Bank, not another Secreto Bank, but pull up UFO and you can see the same thing. Only what you'll see with UFO is it has double the LP with RH tickers, and I think about 20% more LP overall. But these tokens are an index of the best tokens on the chain. So you buy them and you have exposure to all the rest. You can literally flip out, if you ever wanted to, flip out of pTGC and UFO and into those other assets. But do that. Go to your DEX screener and pull up pTGC Hex, pTGC Pulse, pTGC, you name it, that's sitting in your wallet, and see how pTGC is performing with that, against that asset. And then, not financial advice, but if you are compelled to, reallocate, always leave a moon bag. That's my advice. If you're going to do that, always leave a moon bag. Hi, JP. I don't think I've seen you in my chat before. Perhaps. I don't recognize your logo. But nevertheless, good to have you in here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in, guys. So that's the index tokens, secretobank.com. And now we're going to talk about AMM bots. You're like, why are you going to talk about AMM bots? Because we love AMM bots in, in the Grays currencies. They are, I want to say, I need to make a little note here. I think the AMM bots they're not a superpower. They are the secret sauce. Let me write that down. AMM bots are the secret sauce of the Grays currencies. Why? How? What are you talking about, Prairie Banana? The AMM bots are what balance all the token pairs, which we just saw. Okay, on Secreto Bank. Let me just draw your attention. I want to make sure we're kind of talking to some newer people here. all of these are token pairs. And if there's a buy on like this Axis pTGC pair right here, if there's a buy on that pair, it will make the pTGC value in that pair different than all of the other pairs. And the AMM bot's job is to balance all those pairs. So what it will need to do is buy, sell out of all those different pairs to make them equal again, because they need to be equal. That's the job. And when they do that, they're paying the community fee, which is 5%. We're going to get into that, but they pay a fee to buy pTGC, and they pay the fee again when they sell it. So the AMM bots are working for us 24/7, 365 days a year, and we love our AMM bots. And here is a little illustration, and bear with me if I don't do this perfect, because this is a new slide to me built by a buddy of mine, and I can barely even see it. But if you can see, this is an example basically of the arbitrage that the bots are working on. So you have an increase in the pTGC price of 2 cents, and that's the opportunity. So the AMM bots go and they fix all of that, and they make it and they have to decrease it. So, and I'm sorry, if you guys want to screenshot that to use it and figure it out on your own, I'm not the best at figuring that. I had it figured out yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm ready, but I'm really not. But just take my word for it that the AMM bots are balancing pairs all across the network, and even one-off pairs. Like you might have, like pTGC has a bonding with hex naturally, and you might have let me pick some of like, what's an example of a hex bonding of some token that's what's a popular one, like gas token or monster token is also paired with, I'm making those up, is paired with hex. And when somebody buys through that monster hex pair, it makes that hex price either lower or higher. And then so the pairing with pTGC hex will have to be leveled out also. So, I mean, the bots are busy. And as the network volume increases, I mean, network volume has been pathetic. I mean, less than $10 million. I wonder what it is right now. I'm going to actually look it up, because it's something that I have been tracking a lot, and I want to see if it's like a lot now. So the bots are busy. They work 24/7, 365. We're at $19 million in volume right now. So we're double from last week. The AMM bots never quit. They will always be there. And you don't got to pay them overtime or pay any taxes or anything. We talked on X and a DM. Okay. All right, man. Yeah. I might not. If sometimes people have a different handle on X than they have on YouTube. So I could go check, but I'm not going to take time for that right now. David, good to see you. David's been busy. David's a busy man. And guys, just do what you can to promote the grace. Do what you can. Now's the time. Just come by. Let's go get them, guys. So that's the AMM bots. Now we got to talk about what the differences between pTGC and UFO, because these are two different assets. and we're going to talk about it. Okay. We're going to break them down, but we're going to start by talking about the differences. What is the difference between, I'm going to read this comment. John May, they work like I do. Don't make anything like I do. Yeah. And pay tax. Yeah, that's a good one, John. Oh, that's a good one. I love it. Now, what happened to my slide here? Oh, no. My slide is wrecked. I deleted something in my slide. Oh, no. I'll have to go back and find another download of it and fix it. I'll just tell you guys what the difference is. pTGC and UFO, they're both community fee-based tokens. pTGC's fee is 5%. We're going to break that down for you so you know exactly where that fee is going. UFO's is 6%. pTGC's liquidity is all burnt. It's like 90, I don't know, whatever percent, a high percent burned LP, so it can never be accessed. Again, nobody can access it. UFO's LP is community provided. So users like you and I provide that LP. pTGC supply is 12+% burnt. UFO's is 8+% burnt. UFO came out about 5 months after pTGC. What else can I say about these tokens? We'll just keep it simple. That's the basics. They're different. Okay. The pTGC's mascot is an alien. UFO's is UFO. They both break down into like fractions. pTGC's are called a gray and UFOs are called a disc. Do you guys know that? Yeah, that's you're laughing. Yeah, that's a new thing, by the way, guys. We just put that into the white paper, how they break down. So if you got a fraction of a token, you either got a gray or a disc, Yeah, that's pretty cool. The fees. Now, hopefully this slide ain't wrecked. I can't believe I destroyed my slide. Here's how the fees are broken down. pTGC on the left. 2% goes to the DAO. That's a decentralized autonomous organization. 1% is paid to holders. 1% is paid to stakers. 0.5% burns pTGC, and 0.5% is added to the pTGC Pulse LP, and those LP tokens are burned. So with every single transaction, buy, sell, or transfer, these fees are incurred, okay? Just so you know. So 1% of pTGC is burned. You take that 0.5 and the 0.5, that's 1. So that's how it's a deflationary. That's why it's a deflationary token. Then UFO, 3% goes to LP providers. 1% is paid to holders. 1% burns UFO. 1% burns pTGC. So UFO has historically burned quite a bit of pTGC, and we've been tracking it. It's burning a bucket ton. We love UFO for that fact. What else? We talked about the fees. We're on slide 10. Yay, moving right along. Alien tech. Okay. All right. That's right. Let me change this. It's not the secret sauce, it's the alien tech. Alien tech. You guys are watching me build my slide deck, build my presentation while I'm doing it. That's how we do it out west. Okay, so we talked about the AMM bots. That's Alien Tech 1. Alien Tech 2, watch this. Hey, y'all, watch this. There is more going in. I'm going to tell you before I show you. There is more going into the system from the fees than can be extracted. I'll show you what we're talking about. So, and that's just for pTGC. This is in reference to pTGC. That 0.5% going into the LP, 0.5% burning tokens, that's system-centric stuff. And then 2% to the DAO, which does system-centric stuff. Okay? And then 2% goes to holders and stakers. They can do whatever they want with it. We have pretty very diamond-handed holders in the Grays currencies. But that 2% is the only percent that can be extracted. So you have 3% going in, 2% that could possibly come out. What does that mean? There's 20% more going in than coming out. Literally, that's alien tech. Right? What separates pTGC from other fee-based tokens? Because there's a lot of them out there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them out there. But what separates pTGC is the DAO, because the DAO allows pTGC to be more like a ship on the sea than a train on a track. The DAO gives pTGC the ability to pivot with market changes. When opportunities come up, we can pounce on those opportunities and make gains. For example, when most token came out, we were on that within about, I think, 3 to 5 days and made everybody's money back within 3 days of getting in. That's the beauty of the DAO. We're not like a train on the track that can just go forward and backward. 1 second, guys. I want to show you an example of the power of the DAO. And it's something that's a possible, not probable. Although it is sort of probable if we really wanted to be weird and just do it. If we wanted to like redneck it, right? We're not rednecking pTGC and UFO. But we literally have the ability to burn $128 million worth of pTGC every year if we had $10 million in volume. Check this out, guys. If we had 10 million in volume every day, the pTGC DAO, $200,000 would come to the DAO out of that $10 million on pTGC volume. Well, that's 2%, $200,000. So it could burn $200,000 per day if it wanted to, because the DAO can do whatever it wants with that, with the pulse that comes into the treasury. pTGC burns 0.5% or $50,000 in a day. UFO burns 1%, $100,000. So yearly total would be $128 million. And that's by pressure sent to the dead wallet. And it's literally more, $128 million is literally more than the value of all the tokens right now. So we would never do that, probably, set aside a whole year just to burn tokens. But it sure is sounding tempting. We probably wouldn't do it. But if we did, the effect would be enormous on the price. So why am I bringing that up? Because even though we're not going to do it, it shows me the power of the DAO, because it's, how do you say it? That the effect of burning 128 million tokens, we're not going to burn 128 million tokens. I mean, $128 million of tokens. That's a lot of money. But the DAO is going to do other things with that money. It's going to burn tokens. It has been doing that a lot lately. It's going to pair with other promising assets on the PulseChain. And it's going to do those two things almost predominantly. So, if we did a 50-50, it would burn $64 million in tokens and then add $64 million in LP. Okay. I hadn't even really thought about that. That's the power of the DAO, guys. I mean, I love it. Okay. It's time to cruise the DApp, the decentralized application. And I need to make something clear to you guys, is that when you hold pTGC and UFO, your tokens stay in your wallet. So we're going to go through the the pTGC side first. We're going to talk about staking. When you stake your tokens, though, they stay in your wallet, not like they do with Hex or some other assets where they all go to a contract or you exchange them for something. Your tokens literally stay in your wallet because we believe in self-custody. Same thing for UFO, though. When you LP, you retain your PLP tokens. So that's one of the perks of being in the grays, is self-custody, minimizing contract risk. And let's have a look at that DApp. Let's have a look. I'm so glad my cursor is working. This is amazing. All right, let me just click off of this real quick, guys. I'm going to click on staking. So the DApp is PulseTGC.com. That's where you go to interact with the contract. There is another DApp at lookintoptgc.com, which we're going to talk about We're going to use it for the moon math at the end of this presentation. So go to PulseTGC.com. Let me type it in the chat here because there are some non-English speakers and I'm not the best at speaking English myself. So there it is in black and white, PulseTGC.com. That's the DApp. The other one is Look Into, which we'll cover later. But you have, let's see, you have your tokens in your wallet. And I have a wallet connected. Good, good. And then what you will do is go to the, you go click on the staking page. This is where you can see your liquid assets, you can see your staking, and you can see your locking. There are 3 things that you can do, 3 ways that you can earn with pTGC. You can just hold the tokens. A lot of people do that. You can stake the tokens and you can lock them. We're going to talk about all 3. If you hold the tokens, you earn reflections. They will come to your wallet. Good evening, Condor. They will come to your wallet automatically. And like as soon as you start holding pTGC, you will see reflections being added to your wallet almost in like a spooky alien fashion way. It's really cool. And they will be just start stacking up, stacking. And imagine all of those tokens, like at today's price, let's call it 404, and you're stacking tokens at 404. And then let's say we do a 10x in the next 6 months, hopefully more. Then in 6 months, all of those tokens that you've been stacking day after day after day and are going to be worth more. There is something that you need to understand that I want to make sure that might not be written down here, that I want to make sure that you guys are clear on. And this is something that took me the longest time to figure out, but I'm going to explain it and you guys will pick it up faster than I did. When price is low, the contract is buying cheaper tokens, so it can get more of those tokens. So your rewards are going to be more the same value, but more tokens at these lower prices. As price goes up, the contract for the same dollar value cannot buy as many tokens. So you will be rewarded fewer tokens, but the same dollar value, if that makes sense. So time is of the essence for stacking up yield tokens now, because I mean, if we do 100x or whatever number of x's we do, we want to ensure that we've collected as many yield tokens as we reasonably can so that they get the 100x's. And I was talking to somebody the other day, they're like, I miss the days when we would get so many more reward tokens. I know, because this token pTGC has done a lot of x's already. So the rewards that we're seeing now, they're still great, but they're not like they were back in the beginning. Wham. Because I wasn't there at the very, very beginning. So sad. But hey, we just move on, right? We just do what we can. Hold on. We got that. Back to the DApp. Staying on task. So if you hold the tokens, you are going to earn reflections. You can also stake the tokens. And how do you do that? Select stake. And then you can select however many you want. I don't have any liquid tokens in this wallet. Oh, actually I do. So you can stake whatever percent. You can stake 100 if you want. Whatever you want. And then confirm it in your wallet and be on your merry way. Now, so once you have a stake, you're going to start earning from that stake. And like this wallet has earned 5,859 tokens for staking. John, you're in day 6, man. Dude, that is so amazing. I knew wish you were day 1. I know. You know what's funny? Like, I was in early last year, and the more time goes on, the earlier I'm in. Like I was late. I was like, oh, just finally heard about this, and I was like, all right, I'm just doing it. And I did it. But now we're like 16 months past where I got in, and I am more early with every month that passes. PTDC, and you say, Lakota, hey, good to see you. PTDC is definitely one of the best protocols in all of crypto for sure. Yeah, it's the holy grail of crypto. It's the golden goose. It's the needle in the haystack. It's the be all end all token. Let's get back to the DApp. In a second, if you stake PTDC, there's no time commitment. You can take your rewards at any time and do whatever you want with them. Remember, they're all backed by LP. What else can I say about that? No time limit, 1 stake per wallet. Now, if you decide to unstake, which is, let me show you this, which is this withdraw button. And the site is being rebuilt, by the way, guys. So maybe it won't say withdraw on the next rendition of the site. Not sure. But if you click withdraw, okay, here's the claim button to claim your rewards that are right here. Okay. You can just claim them, sign in your wallet, and they'll go straight to your wallet. Right now, these rewards are sitting in the contract. Same with the locking rewards. They're in the contract. When you claim them, they go to your wallet. Now, if you withdraw, you will pay, good morning, Rolando. You will pay a 1% fee that goes back to all the other stakers. And that's a fee on your principal. And from my own research, depending on volume and price, you know, it could be about 100 days to ROI, at least in recent months, and everything's been very slow. No price movement, no volatility, no volume. So it would take longer. But as we move up, I think it'll take less time to ROI on the 1%. The 1%, you know, I'm just thinking, sorry, guys, I'm distracted here by my own thoughts. I really need to explain something. Let me write it down. Oh man. All right, let me just get this in. No, I don't think we need to, because we're going to do it in the never mind. Okay. DApp. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to deliver everything that I can, and my mind can get distracted. So I think that covers staking, locking. That's the third thing that you can do. And we're going to go back and summarize all of these and what they and we're going to talk more about these. But let's get through locking, and then we'll talk about some differences between holding, staking, and locking. So if you are staked, you have to be staked. You have the option to lock your tokens. Now, the fee for withdrawing a stake is a very modest 1%. The penalty for early ending a lock is a heavy 30% on your principal that is paid to all the other lockers. So my recommendation is proceeding with locking very deliberately, cautiously. Take some time to think about it. But here's how you can do it. If you have PTDC that's locked, then you can lock it. You can make multiple locks per wallet. So just select the number of PTDC you want to lock and how long, anywhere from 90. I'm going to show you a chart here about this. Anywhere from 90 days to 10 years. And then you can create locks. You can make a locking ladder, which I have done. You can lock for 10 years, which is going to get you the max rewards. Let's talk about that. Or you can spread it out. You can do a lock, let's say that locking ladder. Yeah. Okay. Let me talk about how I did it. I did some 10-year locks, and then I did a locking ladder, you know, an annual ladder. That's how mine was built. And then I did some 90-day locks. And I just wanted to spread it around. And I think 96.2% of my PTDC is locked because I want locking rewards. So here are the tiers. No, that's not the tiers. There are the tiers. 90-day locks earn 55%. 5-year locks, 80%. 9 to 10-year lock, 100%. What does that mean? Well, if you have a 90-day lock, and by the way, this is a great lock to put your pTGC into if you don't want to commit to the longer ones and you need some time to think about what you might want to do with your pTGC, because we're going to show you the locking rewards and how lucrative they could be. So 90-day locks keep 55% of the locking rewards. 10-year locks keep 100% of the locking rewards. And how that works is, like I said, the tokens stay in the contract, and somebody has to emergency end their lock in order for you to earn tokens. So you get tokens assigned to you. It'll be a certain amount, like in this wallet, it has 3,815 tokens assigned to it from the unlocking contract. When I claim those tokens, depending on what tier I'm in, like the 90-day tier, I will keep 55% of those tokens. 45% is sent to the dead address, reducing the supply. It's a pretty genius system. So locking is actually anything less than a 9-year lock is like a benevolent system. You're actually, as a user, burning tokens, inflating everybody's position in the supply. It's pretty cool. What else about locking? Oh, a couple key things. When you lock, let's refer to this tier. If you lock, you see that 1 to 2 years, and it says 60%. If you lock 1 day into the next higher tier, you earn from that tier. So if you locked 1 year and 1 day, you would earn 60%. If you locked 9 years and 1 day, you would earn 100%. You follow where I'm going with that? Why lock 10 years? Cut 364 days off and you'll earn 100%. I wish I'd known that with some locks that I made early on. And that's why we're doing this presentation, to educate you so that you can know some of this stuff. Now let me address the chat here, and then we'll talk about the differences between reflection, staking rewards, and lock-in rewards. Good morning, fellas. Do you see people using the betting? The betting? I don't know what you're talking about. My longest stake in all my portfolio is pTGC, 10 years. Yay. Right on, dude. 9 years, 1 day, right? To get the 10-year lock. That's correct, John. 9 years and 1 day. But you might want to just be safe and make it 9 years, 7 days, just in case I don't think the leap year is is factored in to the locking reward, but I don't know that. Excuse me. It was hinted to me that it was not. I did 90 days a while ago and still collecting that 55%. I did 90 days locks all last spring, summer, fall while I was thinking about what I wanted to do. And then I went and did everything. I went and fixed it all. So the difference between holding rewards, staking rewards, and locking rewards. Holding rewards and staking rewards come to you based on the price of the tokens today. So if somebody puts in $1,000 into pTGC, they pay the 50%, the 5, we're glad it ain't 50%. They pay the 5% community fee, which is distributed to all, it's distributed. Did we talk about the fee? I think we did talk about the fee. It's distributed according to how the contract is supposed to distribute it. Okay. But part of that goes to holders and stakers, 1% each. 2%. So if you're a holder and a staker, you're getting 2% of that 5% community fee. But it's based on the price of the tokens today. And that's for holding and staking. So you're getting tokens coming to you based on the price of the tokens today. But the locking rewards are not like that. The locking rewards come to you based on other lockers early ending their locks. And the contract does not discriminate about what the value of those tokens are. It's just going to send a quantity of tokens. So if somebody made a 1 billion pTGC lock and they're like, I want that money now, they're nuking 300 million tokens. They go to all the other lockers. If those tokens are worth $1, contract don't care. That's the beauty of the locking system. So it's It's pTGC's superpower is the locking system. UFO has a superpower also, which we're going to talk about when we get to UFO. Now we're getting into, oh, what? Okay, here we go. Let me catch up with the chat here. Lakota was talking about the game on our website. Oh, does anybody, do you see people using the betting? I don't track that. I haven't been keeping up on it. If you guys want to, play the game, go for it. I'd like to see some people using the game. It's on the site, guys, PulseTGC.com. It's game. You like for 10,000 Pulse, you can buy a ticket, and then you can earn pTGC, and it burns tokens. Thanks, David, for clarifying that. G'day, Clintrons and Gary Bennett. Good to see you. Lots of people in here today. I really like this. So how does UFO, because we're switching to UFO right now. We're done with pTGC. We're moving on to UFO. How does UFO stand out? Well, you can hold it to get reflections, which you're not having to share with farmers. What does that mean? It means that people that, okay, in the beginning, a lot of people, let me back up. You can do two things with UFO. You can hold it and you can LP with it. In the beginning, a lot of people went heavy LP, myself included. And then we found out that the holders are earning a lot of rewards, like 5% more APY than people that are LPing. So it is what it is. But when your tokens are in LP, they're not receiving reflections. So that's why the holders are earning so much more, is because they're earning all the reflections that the LPers are not. It's pretty cool. I don't know if we anticipated that happening, but LP providers are heavily incentivized to stay in the pools, because if they pull their LP and price were to drop, other people would scoop up the shares. Keyword, shares. It's time for dinner. See you, David. We're going to talk about shares. And that's a share rate. It's called the UFO share rate. How else does UFO stand out? It has twice the LP with RH tickers. Twice the LP. And that could be meaningful. I am not 1,000% convinced that it's meaningful, but it could be meaningful. All right. That's the main differences with UFO. Now, we're going to go back to the DApp and have a look at UFO. This is going to be real quick. UFO is a lot more quick of an explanation. So same DApp, PulseTGC.com, select UFO token right there, click. And if you're holding, I'm going to show you where you can see your holding rewards. And if you want to LP, I'm going to show you where you can do that too. And it's right here in the lower left. Sorry, I got an annoying hangnail. You will click on UFO liquidity pools right here. If you want to add LP or just look at it, And this brings you to the manage liquidity section. And there are 7 pools to choose from. I would not LP UFO and pTGC because you will pay the fee going in and out of that pair. And that would be 11% plus 11%, 22% total. And I'm just not willing to do that. You can choose from Hex, eHex, Inc, PulseX, Pulse, and PDI. And how you do it, how you add LP is select Manage Pool, add liquidity, and then you're going to have to select how much UFO you want to LP. And what a lot of people do, guys, is they'll LP a portion of their UFO and then just hold the rest. And you'll have to have an equivalent amount of the other side of the LP. So in this case, I'd have to have 634,906 pulse, and I don't have that much in this wallet. So instead, I could do max pulse and then a little bit of UFO, you see, and then add new liquidity, sign it in your wallet. Then once you sign, what I would do is go back to UFO token right here, select UFO PLP rewards, and I would want to confirm that I have that LP. You're going to see that pull up here in a second. So this is where you can see your earned UFO reflections right there, and then your pending rewards in pulse, because when you LP UFO with the core tickers, you earn pulse. You can claim your rewards, like you can have multiple LPs, and you can claim them all by selecting that. I think that's it. I think that's it, guys, for this section, except for this one key thing right here, UFO shares. Let me come back to that after I address the chat here real quick. What it do, Grace? pTGC and UFO are coming for head tops. Stay bullish. Yeah, Duffy, appreciate you dropping in. Okay. You see that UFO share, 999,999.92. That's supposed to be a million, but it didn't turn out that way. I still want to fix it. I just got to get my wallets in here. So that is the UFO shares that are assigned to that pool. Let me remove this real quick. So UFO shares are the superpower of the UFO side of the ecosystem. How do you get them? Well, I put 1 million UFO into that pool, and I was assigned 1 million UFO shares. It's 1-to-1. And what do? UFO shares, they like bookmark they represent you to the reward pool for the 3% of the rewards that go to LP providers. They're a bookmark. They represent. So they're your share of they're your share of the pool. They never change. You will incur impermanent loss in those pools. Most of us have lost a lot of UFO because UFO is outperforming the tickers that we paired with. So we've lost UFO, but our pool standing, our UFO shares, stayed fixed. As long as we don't unpair, then we're good. And many of us have decided we're probably never going to unpair those pairings because we're just going to enjoy the rewards in Pulse. But that's the UFO shares. A brilliant system brought to us by the Grays. Ovidian's Hex says, hi, been away working. Is our pTGC now paired more with ETH? Is that why we're moving recently more? No, just pTGC has been moving, and Ethereum has been moving up against BTC, and so that's pulling the rest of the market up. That's what's going on. All right. What else? I think that's it for UFO. Oh, I do want to show you something. Okay, and this is connected with the UFO shares. This is powerful. Watch this. Let me get my slide pulled up. All right, I did a little experiment. I took this LP right here, this UFO PLS LP, and I was like, what would happen if I unpaired this? Because I hear that these UFO shares are so valuable, and I want to simulate unpairing, and I did it. And here it is. Here's the slide. Let me walk you guys through this, and you're going to see how valuable these UFO shares are. UFO unpairing simulation. My current UFO shares in the pool, and this is several weeks ago. The shares was 1 million. Still is. It will never change. The current value in UFO, $7.40. Value in Pulse, $7.40. Additional needed to regain shares. So if I unpaired it and I'm like, oh, whoops, I want those shares back, that 1 million shares. Well, I'd have to come up with 700 million UFO to add to the existing 300 million UFO. That's $17 at the time. Then I'm going to need 435,000 Pulse, $17 additional Pulse to add to the 190,000 Pulse that I unpaired with at the time, which is an additional $34. So if I unpaired, that's the value. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the additional value of this LP right here is $34. Yeah. And that's powerful, guys. Why? Because I'm thinking that as we go up in this cycle, I'm going to be losing more UFO. And so it would cost more UFO. That is true. As the value of UFO goes up, and I have to buy, let's say not 700,000, but 900,000 UFO, and then UFO is so much more expensive. I don't know. We're gonna figure it all out, and I think that Kong is building something look into ptgc.com that will help us figure this out, because I think that those UFO shares are going to be highly, highly valuable. I tried to build something in a spreadsheet, and I just could not figure it out. All right, guys, let's take a little detour. It's been intense. We're done with UFO. We're going to do the moon math next after we take a little detour over to, I'll show you guys the game. I'll show you guys real quick. Here's the game. Select game since somebody brought it up. Let's see. Total TGC to be distributed right now is 2,671 because there's only two tickets in the game. So some people played, and what it does when you buy a ticket, I can't explain it, guys. I just can't explain it, but I know that it burns pTGC. Total burn was 5.9 million. You should have seen the old game from the old site before we redid the game. It had burned a lot of pTGC. I mean, the first winner of the game, because the top winners are right down here. Top winners, 4 million pTGC. Well, the top winner for the original game was like 300 million, 350 million, something like that. So yeah, if you guys want to play, have at her. So the next one, what I want to show you guys is Gray's gear. And you can buy hats, t-shirts, hoodies, flasks, playing cards. What else? What else is in here? Stickers. Where's the stickers? Stickers with our new logos. Aren't they cool looking? This is my favorite, guys. I got the phone case. It's right here. I'll show it to you. It's cool. I like it. It's my favorite all-time phone case. Right there, boys and girls. Look at that. Look at that. And it's like built into the plastic. It's not painted on there, the color. And it hasn't even scratched, which I'm pretty surprised about. But, you hold these tokens, and that's fun. But if you get some swag, it just funifies it. So get you some swag. I wish I had the link for the t-shirts. It would be in the Telegram, an old link from earlier this week. I think it was, or maybe at the end of the last week. You can get a t-shirt for the cost of shipping. So if you want to ask for that in the Telegram, maybe somebody can dig it up, but I'm not going to do that right now. Too much other stuff going on. All right. You guys ready for some moon math? When you sending me mine from my phone? Funny, John. You got your pTGC tee in the mail the other day, about to be down here stunting on them. I just got the notification in my email that mine is being shipped. It's my pTGC with the new logo, the one that Shaka Vibes made. It's cool. I'd like to hear the story behind that logo, because he literally dropped it up on where were we? I think we were in Spaces, and he pops this logo in the Telegram, and we're just all like, "That's a killer logo!" And now it's like it's official. It's a combined pTGC and UFO logo. John May, you guys are funny. All right, let's get back to business. Moon math. All right, guys. First, let's look at the chart because I'm curious. What's going on? What is going on? Well, pTGC is at 3035. Nothing has really changed since we started the stream. Imagine that. So, but the reason I wanted to look there because I want to kind of get an eyeball on the price because the price is going to determine some of the outcomes of the moon math. So look into ptgc.com. And guys, if you want a subscription to, let me plug this in here. Look into ptgc.com. And yeah, I am plugging a subscription. Okay. All right. This is commercial time. We talked about the gear. Now we're going to talk about Prairie Banana and Kong stuff. If you guys want full access to this site, everybody has the left tab and the right tab access to those tabs for free. But if you want the tabs in the middle, it's going to cost a monthly fee. And if you use my coupon PB15, you get 15% off. Otherwise, it's $24 a month. So you can get it for $17.28 if you use my coupon, or you can pay $24 a month. And then I don't make anything. Use my coupon PB15 for looking at ptgc.com. Now, I'm also writing a book about the Gray's currencies. And I have it out to a couple people to review the manuscript. Once I have it back, I'm going to put my edits to it. And then I'm making art. It is going to be a meme book, like a picture on every page, grayscale aliens. It's going to be, my intention for the book is for it to be classy. It ain't going to be cheap, though. I mean, it can't be cheap. But when you buy the book, you'll get a discount on look into ptgc.com. Nobody should pay full price for the book either. You guys are going to get a discount. I think it's going to be 30%. If you buy the book and you look into ptgc.com, you'll get 50% off that site too. So 30% off the book and 15% off the site. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. I'm hoping to get the book done, but it's taking time. Guys, I am so excited about the book. What is the book? What's the benefit of the book? It's everything that I talk about in these presentations and everything. I'm trying to include everything that you could possibly want to know about the Grays, basically, in a book. So you can read it and have everything, all the little nuggets of information so that you can be educated and know what you hold. And I want it to be like a coffee table book, like you can sit on your coffee table and have an attractive alien. And I want the book to be so that people will open it up like, oh, this is cool art. And they'll flip from page to page to page, just enjoying the art. That's part of the idea behind it. And I've been working on it for a couple of months, but I'm excited about it, obviously, and I should move on to the next step. But yeah, I would appreciate you guys buying the book. And doing a look into, because look into is, it will get better as people subscribe because it costs money to operate the site. He has to pay for it. Because we're coming up with ideas. I'm like, Con, can you build this into this, this APY stuff into this site? He's like, it's going to cost me. The poor guy. No, but he and I are going to be streaming on Friday about look into and other stuff. And I think we're going to be streaming the following Friday too. So we'll give you guys some content. We're probably getting into the moon map, but I need to do right now. So this is the leftmost tab, the dashboard right here. And you can scroll down. You can see how much supply has been burnt. You can see the volume right now is 98. Looks like it picked up a little bit. 98,000. There's the liquidity at 5.8 million. We are 28 X's to a penny, guys. We've been as high as 10 X's to a penny, but we've been in the mid 30s for weeks now. So this is good. We're moving up. 7-day average volume was down 2.2%. In the last 24 hours, there was $4,900 in fees collected. That's from the 5% community fee. I'll be with your question, Raiders, here in just a minute, in a second, hopefully. In the last 180 days, $3.5 million in fees was collected. And here is where the fees went in the last 24 hours. Burning, liquidity, Dow, stakers, and holders. And the same thing for UFO, guys. So we're going to skip UFO and go straight to Moon Math. Segue over to Raiders question. Have you explained how pTGC did 50x when Pulse did a 3x? That's close. I hope pTGC does a 50x when Pulse does its next 3x, because when Pulse reaches sacrifice price, that'll be a 3x from the bottom. And I'm hoping we do a 50x. But technically, the last time Pulse did a 4x, which was 2024, January to March, pTGC did a 42x, just to be technically. All right, I think that's what you're referring to. You can let me know if I'm misunderstanding you. Moon Math, guys. Tell me what you think Pulse can do this cycle in the chat. What do you think Pulse can do? I'm going to come up with the multiplier for pTGC, and the multiplier is just how many X's can pTGC do against Pulse, and I'm going to pick 5. Should I pick 5? Let's do 5. Because in the last year, pTGC has done like 14 X's against Pulse, but we're going to cut that in half just to be modest and make it 5. John May, 100X. I appreciate you, Raiders. So let's do it, guys. How many X's would that be for pTGC? All right, spoiler. Let me take this psych. Okay, here's how this works. You got 3 numbers. You've got your multiplier, which is the X, the number of X's, for this case, I'm going to use 5. And then you've got the number of X's for Pulse, which we're going to use 100 because that's what John May suggested. And then you have your price. Take your 5 times 100, that's 500. Multiply that times the price, and that's going to be your new price. So if those things happen, then your new price will be, the result. Moon Math. Yeah, everybody loves the Moon Math. Me included, because it's so exciting. Yeah. How many X's? Okay. Yeah. Let's say, here we go. You guys are so excited. It's funny. Let's say Hex goes to $5. How much is pTGC price? Oh man, that's hard to say. A lot. Because how many X's would that be for? Tell me how many X's that would be for Hex. Because I don't know what the price of Hex is right now. But yeah, Hex is going to pull pTGC and UFO up. So it'd be a lot. Okay. And I think, dude, if Pulse doesn't do a 100X from SAC price, I think let's just go with that from SAC price. Take me to the moon. I can't include sell pressure. William Dugan, but that's an interesting one. Okay, go to what's it called? Pampy.app. And we'll include, so let's do 2 different calculations. We'll do the modest one, and then we'll get one from Pampy.app, and then you guys are going to really see some stuff. All right, let's get to it. You guys love this Moon Math. So funny. All right. I think I'm going to star this just to be sure, because I want to get to your sell pressure one. And we can do that when we get to Pampy. Okay. Pulse pTGC. Click here. And this Moon Math calculator is behind the paywall. But guys, you can figure this out in your head like I just told you. And we're going to do an X factor of 5. And a target price of Pulse 100X. Calculate Does anybody want to guess what the result is going to be? 500x times today's price. I don't know. Would that be like 10 to 15 cents? Let's see. 18 cents. 18 cents. If Pulse does 100x, and this is just math, guys. If Pulse does 100x and pTGC moves up against Pulse at a factor of 5, that's a 500x times today's price is 18 cents. Okay? Yay, man. That is, yo. So something I was cooking about yesterday is, what's the value of your bag at a penny? What's the value of your bag at a penny? How much yield and locking rewards would you earn at 1 penny? And we're going to see that here in just a minute. Now, take and multiply that value times 2 for 2 pennies. Do you see? What's the value of your bag at a penny? It's just going to be double that at 2 pennies, triple at 3 pennies. There are people that think that we're going to be waving it by at 10 cents on our way to more. All right, so that, we covered that. Let's go to Pampy.app, and I'll show you guys something. So glad we got the cursor thing figured out. Actually, Kong helped me with that. We were chatting yesterday. We're like conniving in business stuff. It's all good. It's all for the grays, guys. All for the grays. All right, Pampy.app is where you want to go. Click on Try Price Simulator. Duffy says, 18 cents, and I'm sending you and your wifey on a cruise to the Mediterranean. Dude, you got 10 seconds to remove that because I'm screenshotting it. Just kidding, too late. I literally screenshot it, but I'm totally joking. I appreciate that. That's fun. We're gonna have so much fun this cycle, I think. So Pampy.app, try the price simulator. And what you can do with this one, William Dugan, is you can include sell pressure. Check this out. Let's include 20-something% of sell pressure. How did I get that same one each time? I'm just trying to get round numbers so we can do this quickly. And then I don't know what this is. I don't know why you would want to include that. And then you calculate. And what this does is it simulates taking the sacrifice funds and putting it into these 4 assets here. And you can actually just put it in. This is even split. You can do it different ways. I'm going to calculate, and I'm going to get the number of X's that Pulse would do in this instance. And it would be 1,852X. So now I'm going to go to our 1852. I'm going to come back to our calculator and do an 1852. And this is about to get crazy. All right, calculate X. That was way too crazy. Can you imagine? No, I can't. $3.26. So if that money came over and pumped Pulse to do a 1,852X, that would be the value of pTGC in the $3 range. But there would be so many people selling their Pulse, right? So it's all speculation. Moon math gives you, you think like, I'm done dollar cost averaging in, and then you see the moon math and you're like, I just want to buy it, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's crazy. Man, the sideways action is a gift in the long run. It allows us to reset positions. Even if we have to sell, we can recover fast. Interesting. I mean, we like the prices when they're down, and we like it when they're up. It's a win-win. When prices are down, the contract is buying more tokens that are going to be worth more when price recovers. When price recovers, it's just gravy. It's a win-win. We love it, man. Hold on. Now let's look at the reflections calculator. And this is going to show us reflections for UFO and pTGC. Actually, I think it's been fixed. I think it has been changed because I got a screenshot of it yesterday. Oh, here you go, guys. $24 a month. You can use your card or use crypto. But then, of course, if you use PB15, you'll get 15% off. And then, so this is my cue that I need to log in. So bear with me a second. We're almost done with the presentation, guys. And then we're going to go to the, and I have not even looked at this. If this has changed, and it has. Prairie Banana just got caught off guard. But I hope it's, I'm going to try to, I've literally not seen this. I'm going to try to make this work. Token amount. I'm going to use token amount. So if you have 100 million tokens, I'm going to go in experimental mode. I have not seen this, guys. So I'm not using a wallet address. This is pTGC. We're using token amount. Explore yields with custom value scenarios. Oh, this is volume. Whoa, he changed it to 100 million to the stars. Okay, so if we have $5 million in volume, the APY would be 17.43%. Okay, and then down here, 10-year compound yield projection. Whoa. After 1 year, that'd be 117 million pTGC. After 5 years, oh, that's cool. Okay, daily yield would be 47 pTGC or $16. Monthly yield would be 1.43 million pTGC. Yeah, we need. I'm excited for the volume to increase, and then the yearly yield 17 million, of course, and then the investment summary token amount 100 million pTGC. Current value is $35,000. So that is the reflection calculator. I like it. It's more simple than the other one. Thank you so much, Crypto Durgan. I appreciate your kind words. And Duffy Slice and Shank, just a 50x would put us around 15,000 for $1 million. Unless my math ain't mathin'. Let's see. I think $1 million right now is about 300. Oh, dude, I'm on stream. If for some reason math does not work, probably thanks to Crypto Kindness saying it so often. UFO, if you have 100 million UFO at $5 million in volume, that would be an APY of 88%. And 10-year compound yield projection. Oh, this is cool. 100 million. After 5 years, you could be up to 2 billion. After 10 years, 57 billion. Wow. Daily yield 242. Oh, that's 242,000 UFO. And monthly yield is 7.28 million UFO. And then it goes on. Okay, current value $2,216. Okay, so I'm going to have to spend some more time on that calculator, but it's looking good so far. I like how he formed it. It's much more simple. If you guys are familiar with the old one, there was a lot of scrolling and it was excellent. Lots of information, but this one is cool in its own right. Now let's go over to the locking rewards. This is my favorite on this whole site. pTGC analytics. Oh, locking calculator. Okay, so let me give you some context here. We have an experimental wallet that shows us that there's a certain amount being unlocked in any given 30-day period. It's like 400 million tokens. So if you know how many tokens you have locked, and you're locking what tiers they're in. And what's the other factor? Oh, if you wanted to forecast a price, then you could estimate what your tokens could be worth. It's pretty cool. So this calculator helps you estimate all that. Excuse me. So here's the total locked up, simulated unlock amount, which is 395 million. That's the average that we had for last year in any given 30-day period. And it's down right now. I think it's down into the 190s or something like that. So technically we're less in the last 30 in the most recent 30 days than in any 30-day last year. And then if you have 100 million tokens locked up and the price is now, I'm going big, guys, 50 cents, and you're in a 90%, you have 90% of you'd be keeping 90% of the tokens that you earn for your locking rewards. That'd be $38,000 in tokens. So if you had 10 million locked up and the price is now 50 cents in this 30-day period with 395 million being unlocked, you would earn $3,825. You guys see why locking is the superpower of pTGC? We saw why the share rate is the superpower of UFO. Guys, the Grays currencies are amazing. We learned it from the Grays, the aliens. That's it. We're not done though. I have a couple of slides to show you. 2 new slides and then a couple old slides. Oh, these are actually, you guys have seen them before. All right, check this out. If you have any question about where these tokens are going, have a look at this slide and you can tell me. Between August of last year and April of this year, PulseChain's volume 3x'd. Well, its price dropped 38%. pTGC volume in the same time increased by 8x. But in the same time, its price increased by 533%. Where could this put pTGC when PulseChain runs? Just a question. And now I skipped this on Sunday. I'm going to gut through it today. This illustrates to you. What does it illustrate to you? I built this slide. I should know exactly. I should be intimately familiar with this slide, right? Well, I always need to get familiar with it. When I gaze on it, it just made it a little bit bigger. Okay, look at the bottom where it says July. And daily volume was $27,000 per day on pTGC. This is a pTGC slide. By March, it was up to $425,000 per day. And that was a 15.7x in volume. And then price also in that time 12.6x. And price is not on this chart. But what you can see over here is look at the holding column, average holding yield per 1 million tokens in July. And that's what you would earn just for holding pTGC per day, 45 per 1 million. In March, it was 46, basically the same. Why is that? It's because, remember, as price goes up, the token can't buy as many, the contract can't buy as many tokens. But what we see is that in the time that volume 16x'd, price 13x'd. I'm using round numbers. So you're essentially earning the same number of tokens. And they're worth more. Look, in July, you're earning 45 tokens. In March, 6 months later, or whatever it is, 12 months later, you're earning 46 tokens, but they're worth 13 times more. Whoa. Staking, very similar. Let's not exclude UFO. From July, when its volume was $36,000 a day, to March, when it was $370,000 a day. UFO priced at a 7.5x. Its volume, 10x. Okay. Now look at the average holding yield per 1 million tokens. In July, it was 196. Oops. Just a second, guys. Like that Lambo. In July, it was 196. In March, it was down a little bit to 141. But the price is 7.5x. So those 141 tokens were worth 7.5 times more than they were back in whatever March. Why is that exciting? Because we have seen now with a whatever 6 to 10 month history, something like that, that when volume increases, price follows suit. So where I was saying before that when price goes up, we get less tokens, same value. Well, that's technically true. That's how it's supposed to work. But what we have found, and we hope this continues to play out, is that as price is following volume, it has followed volume. I'm not saying it's going to do that again. Price has followed volume, and therefore you're getting the same number of tokens, but they're worth more. Just makes me so excited as a holder, and I hope it excites you too. I can't explain it. It is what it is. I mean, we got records. When we're keeping diligent records day after day, week after week, month after month, and it's in black and white. But that's historical data. I'm not saying it's going to happen going forward. History rhymes, history repeats, whatever, could be. All right, dude, guys, let's catch up with I appreciate that, Crypto Durgan, the comment. pTGC and UFO are literally retirement plans in the making. Yeah, baby. Jim Horton says, let's go. Yeah. Okay, so we got through that. Let me fix my screen. And oh, one thing I want to make sure that I convey to you guys is that this is a word of caution, because we all think we got to exit crypto at the top and then buy the bottom. Sure. But when it comes to the grace currencies, this is me. I'll tell you where I am on these. Perhaps sell some of the top. Sure. Sorry to be repetitive. However, understand what you hold. pTGC and UFO are the golden goose of crypto. Golden geese lay golden eggs. If you can wrap your lifestyle around the golden eggs and never have to slaughter the goose, how much better off will you be? I have 90-day locks. They're mature. I'm waiting for X number of X's. When that happens, I will nuke those 90-day locks. It's a very small portion of my principal, and I will take some feathers from the golden goose and make myself a nice fluffy goose down pillow, but still maintain my goose. I do not want to slaughter the goose. I can have a fabulous meal with all my friends over, maybe have a party, but then no goose, no goose, no eggs. I'm looking forward to the yield in this upcycle, and then hopefully the yield in the bear cycle that upcoming will be enough to sustain lifestyle that I do not need to nuke my golden goose, and I probably won't anyway. I will make it somehow without slaughtering my golden goose. There you have it. That's where I am, because I know there's a lot of mindset in crypto that we have to sell at the top, but I'm not so sure. What we might do, because we have this down, is we might be pairing with some stable coins to soften the down pressure as we go into the bear cycle. And then, yeah. And the great thing is, all right, I got to tell you guys. Oh yeah, it's right here in front of me. So check this out, guys. We know these tokens both are deflationary supply. So what that means is that as you hold your position, your goose, and the supply reduces, your position, your principal increases relative to the decreasing circulating supply. So your position will always be inflating, but there's more. As this happens, you are going to be earning more rewards. And that is why I do not want to slaughter my golden goose, because the longer I hold, the more of the supply I will have, and the more yield I will earn. Been in this thing for a year. I've been dollar cost averaging, but if I had bought 100 million tokens or 10 million tokens, whatever, a year ago, and I still hold those 10 million tokens right now, I'm earning more rewards. Because at this time last year, we had burned, 8% of the supply, something like that. So right now we burned 12%. That's 4%. So I'm earning 4% more in reflections, staking, locking excluded. Does that make sense, guys? It's very exciting. All right. Bear with me a second. Okay, so let me get the chat, and then we got we have 5 things left, and they're going to go quick. AE Wildcat, it's good to see you. The goose must molt its feathers every year. Time your harvest of the molted feathers. Yes, thank you. Fair point. William Diggin, thank you for everything you do for us, brother. This is so much more work than people realize. I hope pTGC hits $1. You deserve it. God bless. Thank you, William Dugan. You're a good man. You are welcome. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, I'm working for my bags too. But I also I like being able to serve others, Positions. So let's say there's somebody that's watching this right now that's like, hey, I saw this whole presentation and I actually got something out of it and I want to buy. Well, let's have a look at some positions, because give me a second as I pull this up. You might want to know what you can, what a, position are like the sea creature leagues. Give me 1 second. I got to find this. All right. I got my eyes on it. And it actually has changed. So you guys have a look at this while I change the $3 pTGC. I know, man. Yeah, we'll see. What is the price right now? I'm going to change these. Look at this number right here. It's 4.68. I'll type that right there, actually. And we'll get back to that in a second. The price of pTGC is 3607. Wow, man. I love it. I think that number right there, 4.68, I'm guessing that it decreased. It's going to decrease overall. UFO is 2214. We'll see if I'm right. It increased. Okay. I was backwards. All right. What does this mean? This means you can buy 5 times more of the UFO supply than you can pTGC. Here's your dolphin position. Now, the supply is not technically exactly correct. I haven't updated that in probably a couple weeks. And here is your dolphin position. Dolphin position in UFO is right now is $2,000. Dolphin position in pTGC is $10,500. But so you see that you can buy 5 times more of the UFO supply than you can of the pTGC supply. And that's, and the shark positions are just going to be 10x that. So you can get a shark position in UFO for $20,000. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I think that's a deal. I think I'm bullish on UFO. I have equal bags of each, just about, okay? Like I got an early on UFO like I didn't in pTGC, so I got a little bit more, but I'm excited about UFO. Good day, Mr. D. What'd I miss? An hour and 44 minutes? Another reply for me then. Can't keep up with you, PB. That's the goal, man. That you can't keep up. Because the more content we can put out, the greater the gains. When this run is over, we gotta do a meetup for the pTGC community, maybe on a super yacht or at some nice golf resort or something like that. I like the idea of a golf resort. And Crypto Stylist brought that idea up, and her and I are buddies, and I got to talk to her. I need to, that reminds me, I got to reach out to Stylist. She mentioned doing some kind of meetup. So I'll kind of feel her and see how she's still feeling about that. Your day one? Me too. Thank you, Mr. D. How to on-ramp. Try Liberty Finance, changenow.io. And if you have any questions, ask in the chat. I'm not an on-ramp expert. I've heard so many different ways, and I don't have notes on all of them. How to buy. Now, I can tell you how to buy. Give me 1 second. 1 second. app.pulsex.com. Set your slippage. It's going to need to be set to 6% for pTGC, 7% for UFO. Hold on. Use the auto router and then just swap whatever you're, swap into pTGC. If you need there's UFO. If you need the contract address, it ends in DE93 for pTGC, and UFO I think is like 1048 or 2048, something like that. Make sure you got the correct contract addresses. And then, all right, guys, where we are. You guys ready for this? Where we are in this cycle is, all right, let me give you some background. PulseChain has done nothing for 2 years. 2 years. It's been going sideways. In that time, pTGC and UFO have been up and to the right. Okay. Overall. What does that mean for where we are right now? We are effectively at the bottom. If you think you are late, you are not late. People are buying these tokens right now because PulseChain is still less than half of the sacrifice price. It hasn't done anything. Yet pTGC and UFO are outperforming it. So when PulseChain runs, pTGC and UFO are going to blow people's minds. Let me show you where I think we are at this point in time in the cycle. I'll tell you, and then I'll show you where I think we're going. We are like a Lamborghini at a stoplight, just barely tapping the gas pedal. But once PulseChain makes its run, we're dropping the clutch. We're smoking them tires and we're taking off. That's where pTGC and UFO are going, in my opinion, once PulseChain makes its run. Okay, guys, if you're excited about pTGC and you'd like to be in on marketing and all that, please join our Gold Circle Space Force. And the way you can do that is go to secretobank.com, select Gray's profile picture. It's up at the top. Gray's profile picture. Upload your old profile, adjust it, download it, and then upload it to your Twitter, your Telegram, and the YouTube. Why do I want you to do that? Because then whenever you're on a Twitter space or you're in a Telegram chat or on a YouTube, chat, you're gonna stand out as somebody that's supporting the Grays eco. And then you see buddies. You see your buddies all over the place when you're on, these social networks and stuff. And guys, no shame if you don't do the gold circle. It's okay. Some people won't do it for strategic reasons. That's cool. All right. I don't look at anybody different that don't have a gold circle. I do. If you have a gold circle, it's like, oh yeah, from back in the day, but some people do not. And that's just fine. That's pretty much it. Two more things. You like that Lambo, brat? We have 6 opportunities for you to interact with myself and the founder. And there they are, guys. If you want to screenshot that, pass it around. Screenshot it, pass it around. We're going to be posting it up on the main Twitter account once a week to let people know, because we have 2 of these presentations. We have 2 X Spaces, Saturday and Monday. And then we have Telegram voice chat where you can literally talk with the founder. Guys, imagine being able to talk to Richard Hart. I mean, this is where I think this is going. Imagine being able to talk to Richard Hart. You can talk to Zen. You can talk to Zen on Spaces and in voice chats. So take advantage of that. I like the been bugging Coach for a while now about it. Punta Cana. All right, what you got here, Jim Horton? Prairie, can you explain how the Dow can adjust as the market changes? I think I heard Zen say when the bull run happens, they can use the incoming fees to do different things instead of just adding liquidity. Yeah, that's a good question for Spaces. From what I understand is that, and I just stated it, maybe you missed it, is that we might be pairing with stable coins to soften the down pressure as we go into the bear market. And it probably wouldn't even be burned liquidity. We'd probably just make an LP. And then once we start recovering, remove that LP. Wonder how that would work long term. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Yep, you can do that with the Dow. Thank you for all the streams. Consistent. Wow. You are welcome, Brett. And I hope that helped you, Jim. I want to ask on Spaces right now, incoming fees to do different things. Yeah, I'm sure that's what you were talking about, instead of just adding liquidity. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything different that we can do instead of adding liquidity. That's the only thing I don't know about. All right, and the last thing is, guys, if you're operating in crypto from a soft wallet or on your phone, I don't recommend that you guys do that. I'm going to recommend that you get a hardware wallet. It's a little device this is a thumb drive, but it's about that size, and you connect it to your computer and you transact on the device itself. That is the safest way that I'm aware of to do crypto. And you want to protect your seed phrase like it's your life. Never give it to anybody. Engrave it on some stainless steel so it's fireproof, floodproof, but still you want to keep it in a fireproof envelope. You can get them cheap on Amazon. And if you need a stamping, they have stamping kits. You can get the stainless steel, and then you can engrave it. Get yourself an engraver. Buy one for $20 or borrow one. That's how I did it. Save your seed phrase. Have a couple copies. Take your investment in crypto at this point in the cycle very serious, because your $1,000 that you are hoping will turn into $1 million. Play it like it's worth $1 million right now, so you're not scrambling to protect your investment when it is $1 million. And just be careful with your stuff. We don't want to be those. We've all heard the stories. People get their wallets drained, and it's a sad, sad story. So protect your crypto. Never digitize a seed phrase. Never digitize a seed phrase. Never screenshot it. I didn't even whisper mine out loud. This is all going through a computer, right? Who's listening? No clue. Well, I better take precautions against it then. Yeah, just be careful. Just want to contribute good stuff to you. Mr. D, just want to contribute good stuff to you. All I hope. All right. Thanks, man. All right. We're going to shut down, guys. We'll be doing this again on Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific. If you got friends, you want to jump in again, you got friends, send them over, and they can ask any questions that they want. And we're going to be doing some streams this week. I'm going to be on with Kong again on Friday. Zen and I are going to be streaming with Nick Hellman on Friday. I forget the name of his group. And then I think Crispy Man is coming up, and a Wild SJ and I are scheduled for Monday at 1 o'clock my time. So yeah, lots of content coming up. All right, guys. Have a great day. See ya. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe to my channel if you would, please. Thank you.